Hey everyone, my name's Amanda and thank you for watching my channel. Today I made a meal that I grew up on as a child and we called it Greek red spaghetti. I'm not sure of the real Greek traditional name for it, but we're going to make it in my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. And we're going to be using 2 cans of Italian style petite diced tomatoes with garlic, basil, and oregano, 2 chicken broth cans, 5 chicken thighs, and it's okay, they have bones in it. You can use boneless if you'd like. 1 can of tomato paste, 1 medium-sized yellow onion, basil, parsley, oregano, and cinnamon. So let's go ahead and get started because it is so delicious. First, we're going to go ahead and start by dicing our medium-sized yellow onion. We are actually going to go ahead and saute them up right directly in the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. If you do not have a Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro, you can just go ahead and saute them directly on the stove and then just put them into your crock pot. Now, I have made a video on this in the past using my Dutch oven, and I have finally started doing it in my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro for when I have those busy days. But we definitely need this nice, tasty, warm meal that just makes you feel really good when it's one of those cold days. Go ahead and remove the lid, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it on, and we're going to change it to sear saute. We're going to leave it on high, and we're going to hit start. We're going to go ahead and add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we're going to go ahead and just directly put in our onions. We're not going to wait for the dial to say add food because it's going to start gradually heating up, and we actually want to saute our onions to where it's really nice and soft, and it'll make such a huge difference for this dish. We're going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of basil into the small white bowl. You will need 1 tablespoon of parsley. You will need 1 tablespoon of oregano. And you will also need 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Now we're going to go ahead and stir these all together until it's nicely mixed. I know it may seem like a lot, but trust me, it's going to make it taste so amazing. Now that we have our herbs and our cinnamon all mixed together, we're going to just set that aside for the time being and just check on how our onions are sauteing up and making sure that they're getting to where we want them to be nice and soft. And I forgot to mention that this is gluten-free and you can serve it over rice or pasta. Now, I will make wheat pasta for my husband and my kids because they're not gluten-free, but I will make gluten-free pasta for myself, and it's so tasty. The onions are perfect. They're right where I want them to be. And I love how the dial will tell you, okay, so say that was 1 minute and 42 seconds when it said add food, but we started the onions when we turned it on for the sear saute. So it's perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken in because we want to sear that as well. And you're not going to sear it for long. And while you're searing the chicken, it's going to cook the onions a little bit more, and that's perfectly fine. So we're just going to sear it for like a good 30 seconds on this side, and then we'll flip it over and sear the other side. So it's been about a good 30 seconds. Now we're going to go ahead and flip it so we can sear the other side for a good 30 seconds. As you can see by the color of the chicken, we definitely did not sear this very long, and that's perfectly fine because we are going to be using the slow cooker setting to cook this. Now that the 30 seconds are up, we're going to go ahead and take our seasoning mixture and we're going to just pour it all over top of the chicken. And the chicken will still be searing as well because we still have it on the sear saute setting, and that's fine. Now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and dump in our tomatoes, the Italian style petite diced tomatoes with garlic, basil, and oregano. Dump the entire thing. Do not drain it. And we're going to add the other one as well. Both of those cans are 14.5 ounces. Now we're going to go ahead and add 2 cans of the Swanson chicken broth. It's 14.5 ounces, and we're going to add 2 of them. This one is gluten-free. Always make sure that your chicken broth is gluten-free if you are gluten-free. The other one that I really like to use a lot as well is from Aldi's, and that's an organic one, and it's gluten-free, and you know, I always watch when they go on sale, and when they do, that's when I like to stock up. And these ones I like to get from Costco when they go on sale because it's such a great deal. I love having chicken broth on hand in my pantry because I feel like this is such a big staple in my house, and it's easy to whip something up, especially this meal. This is perfect to have on hand, the diced tomatoes. I mean, it's such a simple recipe, but it tastes amazing, and it's so perfect for when you're not feeling well or it's a really cold day and you just want something that's so full of flavor and tasty. Now we're going to add the entire can of the tomato paste, and it's 6 ounces. I like getting these from Costco. It's a great price there for the amount that you get. And these I like to have on hand in my pantry as well. Now that I have that all in there, we're going to go ahead and mix this all together. And when I mix things in my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro, I like to either use the ladle that comes with it, or I really absolutely love using silicone spatulas or spoons that are silicone because I don't want to scratch up the inside of my pot. And I have noticed there are some scratches on it. So I definitely want to really try to take very good care of it as much as I can. So definitely using the silicone spatulas are perfect. Now go ahead and put the lid on top. And that took 6 minutes and 16 seconds. And we're going to go ahead and hit stop. And we're going to go ahead and put it on the slow cook setting on low for 6 hours. And we're going to hit start. But I know it took more than 6 minutes and 16 seconds because we added the onions right on in when we turned it onto the sear saute setting. So I'd say probably a good like 8 to 9 minutes maybe, but it's not that bad. And look how awesome that looks. You know, we're going to let this cook for the 6 hours, and it's going to smell amazing while it's cooking. There's 19 minutes left on the Ninja, and it smells so good in my house right now. Just definitely when you take the lid off, just drain the liquid out into it so that way it doesn't splatter onto the side. But we're going to go ahead and pull the chicken out, and then we're going to let it cool so it's not so hot when I'm shredding it with my fingers. Now that we have all the chicken out, we're going to go ahead and put the lid back on so that way it keeps everything else warm inside. But we're going to let it cool for a good 5 to 10 minutes until it's cool to the finger touch. You don't want to burn your fingers when you are shredding the chicken off the bone. But look how tasty that looks. I'm going to go ahead and remove just the skin from it so that way it'll help it cool down a little bit faster. My kids are hungry. They are ready to eat. So I definitely want to try to get this all shredded up as soon as possible and then put it back into the Ninja. I'm going to go ahead and throw the skin away. We don't need that in this dish, but it just helps enhance the flavor when you are cooking it. So we don't need the skin. You can just discard that. It's been about a good 8 minutes that I was letting it cool down. We're going to go ahead and pull the meat off the bones, and we're going to throw the bones away. Now you can shred this up into very small pieces, or you can make it different sizes on how big you want the chicken to be. I'm making mine various in sizes, some small and some large, because my children like when the chicken is smaller. So it all varies on, you know, how you would like to present it. This meal freezes so nicely as well. I love having leftovers of it and then freezing up a container. And then that way I have it for a night where I'm so busy and I need something just to pull out and heat up in the microwave. It's perfect. It's good for up to 3 months in the freezer. And sometimes I like to double this recipe so that way then I can freeze more containers, especially when it's flu season and this just feels so nice and warm on your throat. Now that the chicken is how I want it to be in the bite sizes, shredded up, I'm going to go ahead and put it all back into the Ninja so that we'll keep it all nice and warm. And I'm actually going to make some pasta with it. I had originally made rice to go with it, but everyone loves pasta with it, and I was out of the pasta that I like to use for it. So my husband picked some up after work, which was so awesome of him because it is such a big hit with pasta. So I'm going to make some medium shell size pasta and then some gluten-free penna pasta. That way, you know, you definitely know that it's one's gluten-free and one's wheat. So we're going to go ahead and get the water boiling and then just make the pasta, and then we can serve it and have it and enjoy it. Here's what I'm using for gluten-free pasta tonight. Definitely make sure you cook it all the way through. That way it's nice and soft. Definitely test it. before you drain it to make sure that it is soft. Cooking gluten-free pasta is very different than cooking regular pasta. I like to, when the water is heated up and it's boiling, then add the pasta in, turn it down just a little bit, and stir it right away. If you don't, then the pasta just wants to stick right closely together. Also, if you're gluten-free and you're cooking for a family that there's maybe just 1 or 2 people gluten-free in your household and everyone else is not gluten-free, I like to strain my gluten-free pasta first, and then I will strain the wheat pasta. That way I don't have to wash so many things, and I'm not making my gluten-free pasta cross-contaminated. So it's definitely a thought process in how you're doing it. Now that I have pasta in everyone's bowls, it is time to go ahead and start putting the Greek red spaghetti sauce on top. It smells so, so good. I really love this recipe. I grew up on it. It's so tasty. It's something you have to try. It's really good. Anyways, look how tasty that looks. You can add as much sauce on top as you would like. And also, I grew up putting American sliced cheese in it. I know it sounds crazy, but it makes the flavor different. It is so good with it and without it. It's something definitely to try. Anyways, you want the cheese to be smudged on the inside so that way it melts. It's really tasty. My kids love it this way too. It's so cute because I grew up having it that way as well. Anyways, it's so tasty. It's really nice. I can't explain how tasty it is, but the cinnamon in it, it's just so different having the cinnamon in it. And I'm actually adding a little bit more sauce to the top too. This recipe is so easy. It's budget friendly. It does not cost a lot to make it, and it makes a decent amount for a family of 5. That's good for about like 2 to 3 nights. It's perfect. This meal is so full of flavor. It's amazing. I am so glad my Yiayia taught my mom how to make it, and my mom taught me how to make it. And one day I will be able to teach my daughter how to make it because it's so good. I hope you enjoyed what I made. It's so easy to make. It tastes amazing. You can cook it in a Dutch oven on the stove, or in a crock pot, or in the Ninja. Either one. It's easy and it's so tasty. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed what I made. I hope you guys try it. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Have a great night, guys.